Hello, I'm Vic Edwards, sometimes known as the Reverend Doctor. Uh, I was principal of Emmanuel Bible College after being 30 years as a missionary in Argentina and Paraguay and in Spain. I became a Christian when I was in the Merchant Navy. I was a young man in the Merchant Navy, going all over the world, right around the world. And then my mother died when on my 19th birthday. I was in Jacksonville in Florida, and that was a tremendous tragedy for me. I was the only son, and my father died when I was 4 years old, so it was a big blow. But when I got home, I got back to England, and with the resilience of youth, the sadness had sort of diluted, but I had to go and visit various relations to receive their condolences. And one family I had to go to, I wasn't really looking forward to it because they were religious. They were telling people that they need to put their faith in Christ and all the rest of it. And I thought, oh, no, that's not for me. But my aunt was a fantastic cook. And the way to a teenager's heart is definitely through his stomach. And there I went, and I enjoyed a great meal. And then they said, oh yes, well, they kept me talking, and in the afternoon they took me to see my mother's grave and all the rest of it. And then I was about to leave. Oh, you might as well stop for tea. So I stopped for tea, a sumptuous tea, as I said, one of these that makes the table legs buckle. And I had a good tea. Would you like to come to church with us? Well, I thought, having eaten them out of house and home at lunch and tea, okay, yes. Now, I expected the usual vicar in his cassock and surplice. I thought, no, I can run the gauntlet of these guys. I've been to so many of these services around the world. But I say the Lord played a trick on me, because instead of the minister, who I expected, there were three young men from Emmanuel Bible College in Birkenhead, not much older than I was, and they talked about a new life in Christ. And there, at the end of the service, they gave an invitation, and I was sort of hesitant. I must say, my uncle, who was alongside me, gave me a dig, and he said, well, are you going to go then? And I went forward, and they said, okay, went into a side room. I can tell you, it's the 25th of October in 1953. I can tell you exactly the place, because it's been my church ever since. And the thing is that we were there, and they said, would you like to pray? And I virtually said no, because I didn't know how to pray. But there I simply said, in my heart of hearts, Lord, here am I. If you can do anything with it, please do. And the wonderful thing is that it suddenly dawned on me that my life had changed, totally changed. And after about a month's leave, I was sent back, guess what, not to a monastery, but back into the Merchant Navy. That's the place to get tested. Well, I served in the Merchant Navy for 9 years. I was a navigating officer. I'm a certificated, not certified, chief officer, chief navigating officer, but God had greater things for me. And that's a remarkable thing, how he called me when I was in India. But that's another story. But the thing is, we felt this urge. The man who led me to the Lord, he felt called. I said, how do you feel called? He said, if you feel that there's nothing else worth doing in this life except whatever it is that God is telling you to do, that's a call. And so it was. We didn't go to India, because I don't like curry. We went to Argentina, and there I had met my wife in Birkenhead, who was members of the same church. She followed me out there, again a complicated thing. You have to read my book. It's called Cow Pats and Bee Stings, because we're always putting our foot in it and always getting stung. But the thing is that we were there, and again through some pretty bad ordeals. I had tuberculosis, my wife had hepatitis, our first child was born under the most remarkable circumstances, but she survived. And then we had other girls. We have 4 girls. The wonderful thing is that all the girls are serving the Lord in some capacity or other, married to Christian men. bringing up Christian grandchildren. My grandchildren have either been to Bible college or they're going on missions to Uganda. A 14-year-old was preaching in this church. These wonderful things that I couldn't expect, couldn't explain. When we put our faith in God, Jesus didn't come to talk about religion. He didn't say he was going to give us the best religion. He said he was going to give us life, and the best life, and that has proved so in our case. And we just thank God for that. I'm getting on. I'm 84 next birthday, quite frankly, and I'm enjoying divine health, praise God. And I would strongly, I'd say to you, put your faith in Christ, because that's God's plan for you, for me, and for all the world. And the Lord bless you.
Put your book in again.
Oh, I haven't got a copy of my book. It's called, the Promised Land was called the Land of Milk and Honey, right? And I was in Israel with an Irish friend, and I said, what about this milk and honey? Have you seen the land flowing with milk and honey? And he thought a while, and he said, no, not exactly, because he said it wasn't running with milk, but he said there were plenty of cows. But he says, I reckon that these Israeli farmers have to do what they do back home in Ireland. They have to get up some earthly hour and swing on the beasts. So, yeah, plenty of milk. And what about honey? Oh, yeah.